If you have already seen our review of the Vivo U20, you know that this is probably the most powerful smartphone around 10,000 rupees. If you haven't, do check that out. But how does it compare to this Redmi Note 8? Well, we put these two smartphones in a head-to-head to help you decide. Now before we go ahead with this comparison between the Vivo U20 and the Redmi Note 8, be sure to subscribe to the Gadgets 360 YouTube channel and click that bell icon so that you're the first to know when we have a new video. Xiaomi has used Corning Gorilla Glass 5 at the front and the back for a premium build. The Vivo U20 looks good, but the plastic back does not feel premium in the hand. That's not all. The Vivo U20 is also thicker and heavier in comparison. The Redmi Note 8 has a USB Type-C port, while the U20 has a dated micro USB port. Both phones have rear-mounted fingerprint scanners, but the one on the Redmi Note 8 is much easier to reach. Both smartphones sport Full HD Plus displays, but the Vivo U20 has the bigger and better panel compared to the Redmi Note 8. These smartphones also pack multi-camera setups. The Redmi Note 8 has a quad camera setup, while the Vivo U20 packs in 3 cameras. We'll talk about the cameras in detail in a while, but you'd like to know that the camera module on the Redmi Note 8 protrudes quite a bit. Overall, the Redmi Note 8 looks and feels more premium and wins this segment pretty convincing. Now when it comes to specifications and software, let's talk about the Redmi Note 8 first. It is powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 SoC and has 2 variants. The base variant with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage is priced at 9,999 rupees, whereas the higher variant with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage is priced at 12,999 rupees. The Vivo U20 sports a more powerful Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 SoC and has 2 variants as well. The base variant has 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage at a price of 10,999 rupees, while the higher variant gives you 6GB of RAM and 64GB of storage, and that's priced at 11,999 rupees. Storage is expandable on both these smartphones. In terms of software, the Redmi Note 8 runs MIUI 10 on top of Android 9 Pie. And Vivo ships the U20 with FunTouchOS 9.2 also running on top of Android 9 Pie. Both UIs have bloatware pre-installed and push spammy notifications, but the Redmi Note 8 is the one which is easier to live with. Day-to-day tasks can be handled by both these smartphones without any issues. We found the Vivo U20 to be quicker to unlock using the fingerprint scanner as well as face recognition. The Redmi Note 8 wasn't far behind, but the Snapdragon 675 does give the Vivo U20 an edge here. We played PUBG Mobile on both these smartphones, and the Redmi Note 8 defaulted to the low preset while the Vivo U20 ran the game at high settings. Both phones got warm to the touch after playing the game for a while. In terms of battery life, the Vivo U20 has an advantage thanks to the 5000 mAh battery, while the Redmi Note 8 packs in a 4000 mAh unit. The difference was evident in our video loop test, where the Redmi Note 8 managed 13 hours and 10 minutes while the Vivo U20 went on for close to 15 hours. Even with regular use, the Vivo U20 lasted longer compared to the Redmi Note 8. Both phones have an 18-watt charger that's bundled, but the Redmi Note 8 charges to 100% quicker because it has a smaller battery. The Redmi Note 8's quad camera setup consists of a 48MP primary sensor, an 8MP wide-angle camera, a 2MP macro camera, and a 2MP depth sensor. The setup on the Vivo U20 consists of a 16MP primary sensor, an 8MP super wide-angle camera, and a 2MP macro camera. For selfies, the Redmi Note 8 has a 13MP shooter, while the Vivo U20 has a 16MP selfie camera. In daylight, both smartphones deliver similar levels of detail, but we found contrast and sharpness to be better with the Redmi Note 8. As for the wide-angle camera, we preferred the one on the Vivo U20 as the Redmi Note 8 boosts contrast aggressively and samples lack detail in the shadows. In low light, the Redmi Note 8 got the color tone of scenes right. The Vivo U20 managed to capture better detail, and the shots it took had less grain visible on zooming in. With night mode enabled on both smartphones, they were able to deliver brighter shots. The Redmi Note 8 sharpens photos automatically, making them look artificial. The Vivo U20's shots appeared more natural, but we needed to stay perfectly still while taking a shot to avoid blur. The Redmi Note 8 captures close-up shots and portraits better than the Vivo U20. And in terms of the macro camera too, it was better at capturing details compared to the Vivo smartphone. Video recording maxes out at 4K for both smartphones, but neither offers stabilization. We also recorded samples at 1080p, and while both devices did implement stabilization, the Vivo U20 did a much better job. However, the U20's footage lacked sharpness. Selfies looked similar from both these smartphones, but the ones clicked from the Redmi Note 8 were dramatic. To summarize, the Redmi Note 8 performs better for photos, while the Vivo U20 does video better. The Vivo U20 and the Redmi Note 8 are both popular smartphones around 10,000 rupees. One excels in terms of performance and good battery life, whereas the other offers better build quality and good cameras all around. If you are looking for a smartphone mainly for playing games, then the Vivo U20 is the one to go for. However, the Xiaomi Redmi Note 8 has got better cameras and it is easier to carry around and use. It also feels a lot more premium than it actually is. Alternatively, you can also consider the Realme 5S as an option to these two smartphones. So that was our comparison between this Vivo U20 and the Redmi Note 8. Now, which one are you gonna pick? Let us know in the comment section down below. And as always, for all things tech, stay tuned to gadgets360.com.